This is the Wandering Mike.
Welcome everyone to the Wandering Mike. Today I'm here with Benja. Hey Ben, how you doing?
Hey Mike, good you?
Not bad. Bit hot.
Yeah, it's a little bit hot today.
The last couple of days we had a storm as well because of like the whole humidity and everything. It was
Crazy. I was melting at work and suddenly there was this blow of wind and thunderstorm and we need to get that out of here.
Yeah, that was the mechanic was here as well at that point and he was like, yeah, I'm done for today. I need to get home before the storm hits. So yeah, summer is coming here.
Definitely. It's starting to feel already.
Yeah, you can definitely. It's gonna get way warmer even like the next weeks.
I'm out of here.
I mean, yeah, you're escaping.
As soon as it gets too hot, I'm out of here. Not too hot, not too cold. That's for me.
Yeah, weather's always an interesting point because everyone compares it with where they're from. So with that, maybe I'll give you a chance to introduce yourself to the people that don't know you yet, like I do. So yeah, if you just quickly want to tell us where you are from, maybe a little bit about your background, anything you want to share to start us off, and then we just go from there.
Yeah. So I am from Concepcion. It's one of the major cities in Chile.
Right.
Over there, the climate is pretty much like Melbourne. I'd say a little bit colder. So it's never too cold and never too hot. Maybe in winter tends to be cold enough that I'm uncomfortable.
Right.
It's nothing but. I lived my whole life there. Never moved houses even.
Right.
Till I came here to Australia. I studied there. Studied mechanical engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't finish that, and I shifted to a trade in mechanics.
Right.
Work for that a little bit, and then decided to come here.
Right. So, just for myself as well, because I had 2 or 3 people from Chile on already. I had a guy on from Chiloé, the island. I had one actually I had a lot of friends. I don't know if I had them on the podcast actually, but they were all from Santiago. So where exactly is Concepcion? Is that more in the north? Is it more in the south?
Well, it's south central part of Chile. It is about 600, 400 kilometers south to Santiago, which is the capital.
Right.
But it is already quite different climate down there. So in Santiago, you get a lot more heat during summer. It's pretty much in the mountain side of Chile, whereas my hometown is on the coast.
Right.
So it's a lot more windier. And the vibes is completely different, like capital city versus southern low profile people in general.
Yeah, that is kind of like everywhere. It's kind of like that. The people in the south, it's like more laid back, kind of more like chill, which I guess here is reversed, like in Australia, because I feel like the people in Queensland are more relaxed, but here it's the north versus the south.
I've noticed that it's actually quite respected. That's a tonic. You know how Chile is really long.
Yeah.
I'm from the central part, which is more bohemian.
Right.
So there is more parties going, a lot more life going. That, for example, up north, people is really chill. If you remember Pedro.
Yeah.
So he's really quiet guy, like chill. Because it's the heat makes us tame. Myself, if I'm going through too much heat, I get slow, I speak little, I even start walking slow.
Right.
And then down south, on my country, it's the same. Like, people is lower, but in the Central Valley, in the central part, it's people tend to be faster, speak faster, uh, being more aggressive in the case of like capital territory for some reason. Maybe too much people. But yeah, I found it's kind of the same in here in Australia, because Melbourne relative to Concepcion, and then here in Queensland is about the northern part, central northern part of Chile. So I can make that cross-reference
Yeah.
feel.
No, it is like kind of on the same, because like as people in Europe, or if I just take myself, I don't want to generalize for everyone, but for me, also the way the world map is always portrayed in like the European way, that like Europe is in the middle, and you have South America left, and then you have Australia and even like New Zealand all the way to the eastern side. Like it makes it look like
We are really far away. Yeah, it's
they're
like we are
so far
opposed in the
apart.
map, when the reality is like the same distance, and it's the same distance from Europe to Australia than from Australia to Chile. It's a circle in the end, so it's not
Yeah,
too much difference. But once you see it in a map, you don't realize you can cross across.
it's
The,
just like
the
how
ocean.
it's portrayed.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
gives you, because our minds, they work with pictures. So if you see that picture, you kind of makes you think differently. But what I also heard a lot from the friends I made in New Zealand that were from Chile as well, because they also said like, because Chile, like you said, it is quite long, so you have also a lot of different spots, and then I think, I don't know if it's completely correct, but especially the southern island of New Zealand is pretty much in the same like Patagonia,
yes,
right? So there's like
yes.
similar vegetation there as well.
And that's what caught my attention, because it's about 8,000 kilometers long, the territorial part in Chile.
Right.
So the north is pretty much aligned with the north of Australia, and the southernmost part is in line with New Zealand. So you
Yeah.
can again get the same climates on all latitudes, and have an idea on how the people behaves.
Yeah, that is quite interesting to see like the parallels and to see what that does. And in general, that is a very interesting thing that I also experienced in my life, is how weather and climate actually influences how
Yeah,
people live.
yeah,
Because coming from Germany originally, also I'm from the south of Germany, which isn't the coldest part of Germany, so but still in general speaking, like Central Europe,
Mm.
kind of mild climate, cool to mild climate. And then I lived in Indonesia for a while, like
Oh.
tropical climate. And also then after I finished my studies coming back from Indonesia, then I moved to Portugal, so Mediterranean climate. And you can see the differences
Yeah.
in how people live in those climates.
You always notice that. I love observing. Whenever I get to a new place, I try to observe behaviors. I also try to observe my surroundings, get a reference for north for some
Right.
reason. I try to look for north, so I always know where to go. Try
you-
to get that.
Sorry, do you do that with stars? How do you align yourself to the north? Do you find like a landmark?
Yeah, I usually find a landmark. In this case, I use here in the Bundaberg, I use the river, which I know it's pointing to the sea. In this part, it's a little
Right.
crook, but it's mostly east to southeast. No, east to, well,
West?
yeah, I just forgot the word, but the name. But it goes across. So taking that and the hostel, which is in North Bundaberg, I know where's north.
Right. Right.
It's like a pointer. And with that, if I find myself without battery or something,
Then you
I
can
just
always.
remember, oh, the river's over there, and I'm over here. So yeah, easy.
Mm.
And in Melbourne, it was the same. Like the river again. It's usually rivers. I usually use rivers because they tend to flow to the sea. So it's an easy landmark, and I like having that. I always follow it and get where I have to go without using maps or stuff like that.
Which is becoming more and more of a lost art because people rely on it, you know. I mean, I rely on it every time I come to a new place that I don't know yet. Obviously, you're going to use Google Maps because it's just so practical as well. But yeah, it is a thing of just looking at a map, and because it's not a big story, but I had this one time in Portugal where I lost my phone. I forgot it in an Uber, and then that was the time of home office as well. So I needed my phone to get into my computer because like multi-factor authentication or some stuff. So yeah, I had an app on my phone that helped me to log into my computer for security reasons. So I, because I didn't have my phone, used my roommate's phone and called the supervisor. I was like, I don't have my phone. Like, how am I getting into my computer? She's like, oh yeah, you can't. But I actually have a phone that I don't use. So if you can come to my place, I'll give you the phone. You need to get a new SIM card, set everything up, and then you can work today. So I was okay, send me the address. And then I basically had to do what people had to do without phones. You know, I had to look it up. Obviously, I did look it up on the internet, not on like a real map. But I look, okay, that's the address. I see, okay, I can drive until this station with the metro, and then I have to go left, right, you know, just
taking
like
the reference
remember.
points and trying to memorize them.
Exactly.
It's a hidden art. It's quite hard to do, actually. It's not always goes so good. Sometimes if you forget one, then you are like, oh, now what? I'm stuck here now. That has happened to me multiple times. Not really proud of it. Especially when I first got here and to Melbourne, and I didn't still have my SIM card. I was trying to get that place there, get a SIM card. And I was in the middle of the CBD, standing, looking around. I was like, I forgot the name of the street I needed. Where do I go? What do I do? Just ask someone.
Exactly.
It's full of people there. And so I got to overcome that stress of talking to stranger people and hey, where is Vodafone?
That's also something that I liked as well the first time I went to Asia, like when I was living in Indonesia, and I was basically every time we had a couple of days off, I would use it to fly to some other country because I think it's still pretty cheap, but even like 8 years ago, whenever we were there, it was even cheaper. You had like Air Asia, which I think you still have, like the airline Air Asia, but the flights were so cheap for like in Australian dollars, probably like $50 a flight. Like return, you could go to Thailand, you could go to Vietnam, like all these places.
That's the dream.
And back then, the whole mobile SIM thing wasn't really a thing yet, because now, like I went to Bali 2 months ago and you're on the airport and there's like 10 different, get your SIM, like 10 gigabytes, 100 gigabytes.
You're basically forced to get one at this point. Like even if you are not planning on getting a SIM card, you will at least prepare an eSIM or something to get internet for 2 or 3 days prior.
Exactly. So
just way easier. Like it's nice and all to know how to move around without maps and stuff again. But if you have the technology and you have the means to move around, why would you not use them?
No, that's the thing. But then it does take away a bit from because when I went to Thailand and I didn't have a SIM, like you said, it forced you at some point to talk to people, because you're not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to get lost. No, you need to like, oh, sorry, where's the, and it forces you to
communicate. To speak with people. That's actually what I feel technology is doing to us, progressively making us more separated and not so social creatures.
Yeah.
Like social media, which is supposed to improve communication, I feel like it's killing it.
It's also because I mean I also have the same opinion, but I always try to, in spite of my opinion, look at things at the most objective way I can. So I would say objectively, it's fair to say that it definitely changes communication
Yeah.
because if you say it's better or worse, but communicating via text definitely is different than talking to a person face to face. And I also made the experience that, especially young, it always makes me sound so old, but younger people, they are kind of afraid of calling someone.
I don't like calling.
You don't like
I don't like calling. That's something I miss a lot. I have that miss. I don't like calling. I call to my family really little,
right.
like not enough. For some reason, which I don't understand. Years ago, I couldn't even call for food, like getting takeaway. If I had to make the phone call, I wouldn't do it. I just search for the one that had WhatsApp or something.
Right.
Like, I don't want to call. I don't know how to do this. And then I realized, oh, he says, hello, what do you want? Yeah. It's not that hard. It's not that complicated.
Yeah, for me, it always has had like this practical thing to it because let's say we want to meet up, right? I can send you a text. Hey, when do you want to meet? I wait 15 minutes. He said, maybe between 3 and 4. I said, okay. I read it 5 minutes later, and I said, what about 3:30? And then 20 minutes later, he said, yeah, okay, 3:30. I could just, hey, what time will we meet? 3 to 4, 3:30. Yep.
Yeah, it is way more efficient and important as well. Like, you are not gonna get a job interview via text. You have more chances speaking with the person. They can hear your voice, hear your tone, and know what to expect. Whereas on a text, you don't give anything of you. You're not sharing anything more than words. Oh,
Exactly.
no emotion, no nothing.
I do feel like there is like, since it's a different kind of communication, there is also kind of a skill or an art to it. Because I also, I would say I'm not really good at texting. Because every time, like, I get like 2 paragraphs of text where it's like, oh, okay, they write out all their thoughts, and it's basically like they're talking, but they're doing it in text. And then I'm thinking of, I start writing, and I'm like, I can't write this, and then I just do like voice messages,
Yeah. I found that myself writing text. I do know how to speak through text a lot. Like, I take back what I said. I've learned to share emotions through text. Like, sometimes you're reading a text and you're going with different tones in there.
Yeah.
But there are things that are in your head and you type them in. And once you read it, it's like, oh, this is not what I meant. This is not at all what I had in mind. You completely delete a 10 lines message and start over because you didn't know how to express it. That doesn't happen on a call. Like, of course, it's call.
Exactly.
It's talking. It's what we are supposed to do, I think.
Yeah.
In the end, text and social media, they are tools, and I think we are basing our lifestyle too much around them. That's what I meant with, like, it's taking the social part out of us because we are not using them right. And that's an opinion, of course, but
Yeah.
it's my opinion.
And I mean, I share the opinion, so I can't really say too much against it. I'm sure there's people that, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is a thing that most people do agree on by now, but then there's always the thing of especially at this point where we're at right now, like, can you even stop it? Like that, because even if everyone agrees it's not a good thing, like it's still an existing thing that's hard to get rid of now.
Yeah, it got into our way of life, and it basically came to stay. There's not too much we can do about it unless everyone decided one day to just stop. So if there is, that's what happened to me. Like I've tried deleting Instagram, WhatsApp,
Yeah.
and everything. But in your same friend group, let's say I have 10, a friend group of 10, and 4 of us delete everything and the rest still use it. There is still 6 versus 4. We are actively missing out on activities because
Yeah.
the 6 that are still using it, they're gonna communicate through there, not gonna bother being like
No,
trying
it's
to get
true.
there outside by other means, or which is normal. I think that's the easiest path.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing. It is practical in the end. So
So you get
um
forced back to it. It's really
yeah.
help.
It's the same thing as we started with Google Maps. It's like if you have it, why wouldn't you use it? Like once it offers like a way to do things easier, that's what we will do.
The thing is, once you know how to use them correctly, you can take out so much gain from them, so much
Right.
learning, so much improvement. If you have a doubt about something, just search for it. Don't be like a search. Okay, the AI gave me a response. I'm taking up with this. Like a search and learn more, not just the first article. Uh, Whenever I wanted to discuss something, maybe go in internet, learn about it really quickly. It's really fast, and then you can talk more with people. Like, use it instead of talking less. You can use it to talk more,
Yeah.
learn more.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's just something where being human comes in again because we just need to um I feel like not only technology, like it's a theme of life. Like there's distractions everywhere.
Yeah,
And it's basically just about abstaining the distractions and using it, which if you say it like that is easy, but we all know
it's
how
not
life
easy.
is. So and I guess that's just like everywhere in life, that's the same with technology. We need to find for ourselves a good and healthy way to live with it and use it.
Yeah, I think the best way of stopping those distractions is shifting from short content to long content,
Mm,
gaining back your retaining abilities.
right.
Um, for example, I use a lot of YouTube.
Mm,
That's what I consume the most, not Netflix, less than TikTok, Instagram. I've watched videos 40 minutes or more. And it's usually stuff that are like mechanic videos, car videos,
right.
full makeovers of a car, or even random stuff like they bought a house and they are turning it into something nicer, like common stuff that in the end, if just by watching some of that, you're gonna learn something. You're gonna learn how to change a door. Maybe your door was broken and now you suddenly know how to do it just by
Yeah.
watching. You
Yeah.
get new abilities. You can use it as a tool again, and yeah, do something good with it. Not burn yourself in bed all day.
Yeah. I guess that is actually a really good way, especially for you, because you said about cars, like you studying chemical engineering and then going on to more of the hands-on, the trade. Um, it's like YouTube must have really helped with that because I guess before, I mean, obviously the person you work for will show you, but if you had a thing, like you would have to read about it, I guess. And now you can like maybe it has pictures and it has like here there, but now you can watch like an actual
Yeah.
video. You know,
Absolutely. Like a lot of the stuff that I've learned, abilities and how to use certain tools, how to do certain jobs, I've learned them through watching either other people in person or YouTube or on the TV. But it's never the tutorials, you know?
it's not.
It's almost never the tutorials. Of course, if I have one dove in particular, I'll search a tutorial on that thing.
Mm,
But I learned the most on watching other people like me attempt doing it and failing and reattempting until they get it right. So by watching that, I already absorb what can go wrong, what
right.
is the right way, and get my own conclusions and then try to apply them. It's just the best way that I found to learn, for me at least. I've learned about physics, chemistry, mechanic, hydraulics, electricity,
Right.
and a little bit of everything.
I hope there wasn't a lot of videos where stuff goes wrong with electricity, though. That can be.
There is this guy, I don't know if you know him, Methi Salazar. It's a Canadian Indian YouTuber. He does
Right.
electricity, and his whole channel is based on failing in the process. So he gets choked all the time. He screams, he gets burned. Of course, nothing really bad happens to him. It's
Mm.
all control because he is an electrical engineer. He understands how it
So
works.
he does it a lot for entertainment
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
doesn't he?
yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's a funny idea, yeah, because as soon as you said electricity, I was like, oh shit, I hope it doesn't fail too often.
I know it's electricity is scary. It's scary, but it's not that bad. I worked with electricity for 1-2 years. A lot of times I found myself getting choked by 220,
Right.
and honestly, it's just pumps you up a little bit. You get like and then you feel more energetic.
Well, technically, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's handy sometimes.
It's like, oh, I could use a coffee. No, wait, I'll just touch this.
There was this time because I work on chips, like doing general maintenance on electric components, motor pumps, piping, even furniture. Don't ask me. But I was working in the roof of that chip, in the last part, and we had a grounding issue. So the voltage reader was showing that we were having a little loss of voltage drop.
Right.
So we were looking, where was this short circuit, basically. We were looking for about 2 hours. With my father, I work with my father. And we were like, all right, we aren't finding this. Let's start packing up, come another day, try again. And as I was doing it, I grabbed this metal tube, like a hook. They are where the cables go to the roof, and it has this loop so water doesn't go in. I grabbed just the mouth of it, and I get stuck. I get stuck there like for 3 seconds. And yeah, I found it. And so we could fix it, and I was actually pretty tired that day. And after that, I had energy to like 3 in the morning. I was jumping around and just doing my stuff.
That is crazy.
But nothing happens. Like I've had people that goes to me like, "How are you gonna attach the battery?" And like, yeah, don't worry. It's try to explain. It's just 12 volt. It's not enough to cause anything through our skin, so there is no chance of any shock or any injury at all. And they just go, "No, it's electricity. Don't touch it."
I guess it is a thing that you, well, one, maybe get used to, but also, like, if you know about it it removes the scariness of it, because
Of course.
people in everyday life, like, we don't know anything. Well, I mean, like the general things, but we don't know too much about it because it's not part of our lives. But if it's
Yeah.
part of your work and your life, probably gets less scary just by knowing more about it.
And I guess that keeps us safe. It's definitely a mechanic of ours to keeps us safe of touching stuff we shouldn't.
Exactly, yeah. You can never go wrong by
Like
being too careful.
like a snake
Right.
or a spider, which I definitely shouldn't be attempting to touch, but I do all the time because I'm in Australia.
Do you actually? I mean,
Yeah, I definitely do.
I've seen you like take pictures of it. I hope that was like as close as you got to the end.
So my way of thinking is I like nature a lot. I love it. I love animals in general, and that's something that has grew over the years. And now that I'm here and there is a lot of animals everywhere, I'm like, my thinking is, if I respect them, they don't want nothing to do with me. And humans in general, like they just want to run away. They are scared of you. So if you have respect for them, don't be messing excessively with them, like throwing them around or pushing them or trying to kill them. Chances are they're just gonna run away from you. So it's the same. I found in the farm work that spiders are actually pretty chill. I know it. That's one of the most hated animals, maybe, but literally they can stand there looking at you and doing nothing. If you try to get close to them, they just go away. I hold multiple spiders last 2 weeks in this new work of me. They just stay there. And if you get them close or anything, they literally run away from you, like jump into the ground. And I don't want to be anywhere near you. Same with snakes, except the most aggressive ones, like the brown snake or ones that are territorial actively. And the rest just doesn't care about you. You are not part of their meal. And they use more energy in biting you than they use on running away from you. So most animals, you'll be pretty safe being close to them, handling them. They just trying to understand what are they seeing, like what are they doing there. They have a purpose. I feel like animals have a clearer purpose on Earth than humans. Like we always looking for them, but they exist just for that reason. And why would we interfere by killing them or throwing them around, disturbing them? If you're respectful, nothing's gonna happen.
That's actually, I mean, it's a very interesting way of thinking about it, because I feel I don't want to make it too big either, but for me, like, purpose is also, like you said, as for all humans, it's a huge thing. Like, we're always trying to figure out what it is. And I mean, obviously, scientifically, biologically, you could say the only purpose we have here is, to keep our race alive, like to keep humankind alive.
Reproduction and
Reproduction, pretty much.
growing.
That is the purpose. But then, obviously, we as humans don't accept that, or most of. Again, I'm not generalizing, but there is this thing, isn't there more? And there's always this thing for more. And in animals, do you feel like for them, it really is only this thing? So you're saying the animal has its purpose in the environment, and obviously they do. Like everything in nature, that's the beautiful thing about nature. It always balances out, and everything has a purpose. So the spider that is afraid of you, like, is that just instinct, or do you think there's more to the spider as well?
That is a good question. I do think our search for purpose comes from the same base of animals, which is, again, surviving and making their own species grow. No, I wouldn't think. I think animals are solely going on for instinct. Like their instinct is dictating them to survive, get offspring, and then die at your time. Either serve the food chain or become
Right.
fertilizer. That's your purpose. Whereas us, with thinking, we can say, no, I don't want to die. I want to keep growing. I need to expand. Because it's the same starting point, like surviving, but with the ability to defend ourselves as a species of everything. Like find solutions to disease, find solutions to killing, which we haven't, apparently. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I I have another interesting question, which, in all fairness, I also don't have an answer to, but I'm interested in your perspective on it. Um, I also don't particularly have an answer to it because I do see it a little bit differently, to be honest. Like in my belief system, I do believe that we are all kind of energy. We're all kind of the same energy. So even if I don't have a scientific proof for that, I do believe that the things going on in animals and plants, for that matter,
Yeah.
are in a sense similar to us humans. But I really like the way you put it because it offers me up to the question
All
that
right.
I can ask you. Um, so, if in nature, obviously everything is that straightforward, is it is instinct, it is dying, going back to the like you said, food chain or having its purpose in the overall things. Do you think that at the end, I mean, we can think about it a lot, but at the end, that is all that humans are as well?
Yes, I'm gonna say yes. Um, I've I've been thinking of that a lot of years. Like it's
Right.
one of the things that I think the most, actually. Looking into the universe, I'm gonna go into space.
Hmm.
The flow of energy, the flow of time. It's we say it's linear. We are nowadays discovering it may be a different way, but
Right.
it's generally time only flows to the future.
Yeah.
Um, Everything is energy. Everything comes out of vibration, which is the purest form of energy, like something oscillating.
Right.
If you look anything, any graph, it's always, even the most random graph is gonna repeat over time. If you expand that over the time, it's gonna start repeating. And why is that? Because it is a wave. So
Right.
all of this, in my thinking, all of the instinct that's present in our minds, in animals' minds, you can say.
Yeah.
Not all of them have a brain, but they have other structures.
Yeah.
It's all always flowing toward a future in nature. Like we are the ones trying to go back, or
Right.
maybe to go faster to the future. We are the ones trying that.
Right.
But all of that energy is always concentrated with also the flow of time. It's all a wave flowing towards future. And I think I don't know the name. I forgot the word in English, but the enthalpia.
Yeah. Entropy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one makes sure absolutely that if there is a drop of energy in here, there is an increase over here. So if I go and commit a crime, something good is gonna happen somewhere else. It's always gonna be zero, no matter what we do. that's the one thing that we can't change, like the overall energy on the universe. And that brings us back to the instinct of animals. Like, it's not gonna go out. It's not gonna go out of that path so bad that it's not gonna go back.
Exactly. Yeah. Entropy obviously is a lot of times used to make this theory with the energy, and like shows that basically everything that ever was is everything that will ever be and all these
Yeah.
things. But I really liked your perspective because I don't think I've ever heard it used in the sense of explaining karma, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like you said, if something good happens, something bad must happen over there. And like to see it in that regard, that's quite interesting as
Yeah.
well.
I could talk a lot about this. Unfortunately, it's I need to be really settled, like another perspective. Sometimes I can speak a lot, but and I have a lot of ideas. Because I really
very
find
useful.
interesting. I really find interesting how everything behaves. Like the feeling that I have of the planets maybe being cells of something bigger.
Yeah.
Like it could totally be possible. It could, instead of being different universe and stuff, maybe this universe is all different atoms of a bigger something else. Or maybe parallel universe also. It's also too much. It's too much. It's too big.
I guess that is the thing where it comes back to, we have this consciousness, and we basically have over the years also now, and with years I mean like thousands of years now, that humankind has bettered its understanding of the world, of nature, of the laws of nature. And we are at a point where we, at least to an extent, I still feel like there's also a lot that we don't understand yet.
Definitely.
But we understand it more and more. So more and more we're trying to, give it a why. That's the thing. Like we don't really stop at how.
Yeah,
we
it's not
want we
how.
want to know why.
It's the why. It's the why. Like, and I go back in my own age here. The how and the why is why I started being how I am. Like I always was going around finding stuff to disassemble because of how.
Right.
And then I achieved to why. Like if I disassembled an old radio, which I did probably multiple times, and never put it back together.
Your parents
Looking
must have
for,
loved
like,
you as a child.
how is this making noise? But why?
Yeah.
And as a child, obviously I couldn't understand it. Why? And it's not something technologic. It's actually, I feel like the why would be more of a human thing. Like we want to distract us, so we create a radio that makes noise while we are doing something else. So
Yeah.
it's the why is not always in the same line with the how, of course.
I know that's not at all why we started this how and why thing, but it just got me to think about, because these thoughts that you had as a child, I'm gonna ask it as a question, because I feel like for me it's getting harder and harder. I mean, I'm now actively trying to get back to that, but the older you get, I feel like the more and more the why gets lost. It's more like okay, this is how it is. Okay, how can I like do it then? How can I follow it? Rather than like this might be everything. This is like little things. It's like bigger things, like how our whole system works. Like you can extend it to everything. The older you get, it's more of an how thinking rather than, well, but why am I getting up every morning at 5 a.m. to earn money? You know, like you could ask these
So
questions on any scale.
why is a question based on curiosity, and curiosity is the starting point of intelligence. Without curiosity, there is no eager to learn something. There is no eager to discover. There is no eager to travel. There is no need to fix stuff. There is no need to keep surviving. So
Right.
I think the why is the most important question out of everything. You always need to question why. And once you discover the why, you can go to the how. And with the how, you will be able to do way more stuff that you were ever able to do. Like I love fixing, not buying. You know that movement, right?
Yeah.
Like if the phone breaks, I would much rather fix it than buy a new one.
Right.
And then that comes from the how and the why. Because I start like how? Well, I mean, why did it break? Why did it break?
Right.
And then that takes me to how it works. And once I learn how it works, I can take upon myself and try to fix it. But if I don't know how it works, trying to fix it is pointless because I have no idea what you're saying. It's the same, easier example, a car.
Right.
All mechanics must know how it works. Because if you don't know how an engine works and you start taking it apart, you're looking at pieces of metal, or this tiny part. What is this doing here? Like
Right.
I can go on internet, search it, and it's gonna say, oh yeah, replace that at 15,000 kilometers. But
why?
in the end, that doesn't mean anything because why do I need to replace it at 15,000 kilometers? Why? But if I know the oil filter, which takes all the oil circulated by the oil pump, it's carrying little metal particles and combustion particles of the engine, taking it out of it so the oil can keep the engine safe and it's maintaining its consistency. I know something must be stopping that, so it's getting close. I know why do I need to replace it at certain kilometers. It's not just a thing of, okay, 15,000 kilometers, I need to change it. And then people that doesn't think like that tends to leave it like that. Oh, it'll be all right. It can go longer. It can go longer. I can extend it more. And then it breaks because they didn't know what it was doing. Why was there?
Just sounded like a random number to them. It didn't
it's
make sense. It was
something arbitrary to them.
Right.
Someone is telling them to do that. Of course, they don't want to do it.
Yeah. And I guess that's the point that you can take like for anything in life that you want to apply it to. It's and to also turn it around like in a positive way. That's why in the jobs that I did, where I have to work with people, where I have to train people, where I have to tell people that certain things have to be done a certain way, I always try to take the time to explain it to them because that's the only way that you can really make sure that people do what you want them to do. Because if I tell you, hey, Ben, tomorrow at 3 a.m. in the morning, please get up and do this thing, you're going to say no.
No.
If I,
like, why?
I take the time to say, hey, tomorrow this needs to be done because, then, and an honest discussion has to be had about it as well, because just because I tell you that's how things work, you can question, but why is it important? And all these things are valid questions that need to be addressed. And only in that way, if you have answers to these questions, will people actually
do
understand
them and feel motivated for it.
Do what you want them to do.
And look what we did here. We went back to the sole purpose of stuff. Like, purpose is our motivation again.
Right.
The why. We went back. So that proves my theory of everything is a cycle.
So you're saying time isn't linear after all?
Yes. We're in a circle.
But I mean, that is basically the quantum
Yeah,
mechanics thing
yeah,
where they're basically going at right now. You kind of alluded to it in the beginning. It's where we're kind of going right now is that maybe time actually isn't as
isn't.
linear
Yeah,
as we
because
thought that it was.
as we are discovering now, the beginning of time is also the end of time, which is again the beginning of time. Whenever
Right.
a star collapses, sorry, um, there is the chance that creates a wormhole. And now more than ever, we are talking about how that may be connecting into another universe. So they are talking about the died, the the death of a star as the genesis of a big bang, of a new big bang in another universe.
Right.
So they say that our big bang may be a star in another universe that imploded and basically opened a pathway through them, connecting the two timelines. There is crazy graphs that show the reflection of one universe and another, and showing that the time in this universe is going the opposite way on the other universe. And if you go out of the limits of the graph, then both ends again connect.
Right.
It's really crazy and it's really deep.
Yeah, no, I actually, to be honest, I heard of this, like the theory that it was stars colliding. I didn't know how far the actual theory went, so I didn't know
It's pretty old.
the timeline and all of that. But I do find it super interesting that I feel like that's also a representation of how far we've come to like understand nature around us and how we were able to put a lot of the things that just happen in nature and actually put them into mathematical equations. Because at the end of the day, like what they did in ancient times, it was called philosophy, right? They were
Yeah,
looking at nature, they were looking at things around them and trying to explain them philosophically. And then when mathematics and physics and chemistry came around, they basically, it's still the same discipline. It's trying to explain
yeah.
life, which philosophy is, but
Mhm.
you're trying to explain it by equations and by logic and by trying to give things absolute values. You're putting numbers in, or less absolute nowadays, more relative, but you basically still answering the question of life, but you're answering it in a scientific way.
Yeah,
And that's why when you start off with basic maths and you get more and more advanced, going into the atoms, the quarks, and the quantum mechanic scheme of things, it's just so, to me, fascinating
yeah,
where these theories, and like you said, you just told me one I didn't know about, where these can lead you, these theories.
yeah. No, it's science is something beautiful. Uh, I think in the modern days, of course, science is more evolved than ever. Um, but I think there is a lot of discussion and things that values are missing out of science. People that's going against it and trying to stop uh,
Right.
other people from learning, which is not good at all. Uh, um, but it's the base of every single part of our modern day. Like without scientists, we wouldn't have anything, not even a chair. Like these modern
Right.
chairs are made of plastic, and people that it goes against science think like assume that the chair would exist anyway. They don't
Mm,
take into account that this is because someone was in a lab experimenting with numbers first, and then thought like, um, oh, if I put this element under pressure, it's gonna come out as this completely new element, and I'm gonna be able to extrude this into a mold and make a chair. That's something that happens. That's a process. It doesn't
Yeah.
come out of nothing like people against science may think. Yeah. You know, it's the base of basically everything. Even wood, it's being created in labs nowadays.
Wood.
Yeah,
Wood.
yeah,
It's
wood.
being
Like
created in labs.
yeah, different types of materials based on the organic structure of wood. Like it's not gonna
Right.
be a log, but it's taking this basic structure and tweaking it so
Mm.
it's more resistant, fire resistant, waterproof, or stuff like that. You can take any element and make it better. And
Yeah.
people argue that that's maybe profane for some reason.
Right. Right. I guess that would be the argument
Yeah.
is that why would you? And it is an argument that I find interesting in a way because it's not that I believe in a god per se, but like I told you as well with my thoughts about animals and plants, I do believe that there is a reason behind the universe. Um, so there must be a reason why a tree exists, and there must be a reason why the tree is made how it is made. So, um, to to be fair, I would also say if we can make wood fire resistant, why shouldn't we do it? If we have
Yeah.
the technical ability to do it, why shouldn't we do it? But I find the thought interesting of, yeah, so the tree must be there for a reason, so why do we need to change it?
Okay. So in the case of this advanced wood, let's call
Yeah.
it advanced wood. Um, the main reason is actually to preserve nature better, because
Mm,
we can now make organic wood from organic materials, not taking them underground, but recycling, getting what we are already working with into a more resistant object that's gonna withstand better over time.
mm,
Um, stop cut. It may stop cutting more trees, because
right.
if we have a better material than the wood that it is on the ground and filtering oxygen for us, why would we use that? Maybe price, of course, it's made on Arab, it's gonna be expensive at
Mm,
first. But that's the thing with science and new discoveries. Like over time, they get better, they get more efficient, and they get cheaper.
right.
So if something new, you don't use it, it's gonna remain being expensive because no one is interested in the object. No one is buying it. So the people that it is interested, it's gonna have a hard time. It's less availability. But if it starts being common and we change that mindset of everything new is bad,
Mm,
we work with science, we study, we learn more about stuff. Um, you open your mind. You open your mind. You get better stuff for yourself. You stop fighting. Um, no, you stop being fight back by advancements.
mm,
Like you're actively limiting yourself. It's like you said before. People as grow older lose that why thinking. It's the
definitely.
same. You are limiting yourself to learn less, to uh, just stop expanding your mind. I just yesterday saw a video of TikTok,
Right.
but I saw this video of this lady, like 50 something years old, 60 something, I don't know, 60 something. She
Mm,
was going on about how this girl in her 20s was complaining because this other elder lady was raving. And in their comments, she was like, I think people should stop raving at age, let's say 28, or let's say 34, I don't know.
right.
And this other older lady was like, okay, so I'm going to stop you right there. Why? why are you telling me I should not rave? And even more than that, why are you telling yourself that you should stop raving at
Right.
age 32? Like, why are you limiting yourself to stop doing the stuff that you like?
Right.
It's not about people telling others what they shouldn't do,
But
it's
by doing
them
that,
doing it to themselves, like stopping the enjoyments of life, stopping learning, stopping new stuff, like the stuff that motivate us in the first place to keep going into future. You
no,
like,
that's a great way to look at it as well, because yeah, that's exactly what it is. Every time we think like someone else shouldn't do something, that just shows us the limitations that we have
yeah,
in ourselves,
yeah,
because we're like, yeah, I would never do this. So why?
yeah.
Why are you limiting yourself?
We are trial and error creatures. Like that's our sole way of learning. If we stop trying new stuff, life gets boring, gets slower, gets more extensive. Like there's nothing to do. I'm gonna stay at home, clean the dishes, sit in the couch, do nothing. Like people enjoy reading a book, so read new books. Don't limit yourself to just sit there and not read. I don't particularly. I should read books. All of this I'm saying I should read books, but I lack that. I just don't have the focus to. Uh,
But you
but
observe a lot of
yeah,
knowledge throughout the media, apparently,
yeah,
like as we've heard.
from media, and if you find me on the beach or in a forest, you'll definitely see me staring at something in the ground, like
Right.
just watching and watching and watching until I discover something. I'm not just bugging out there. I know it may seem like I'm bugging out. That's why everyone looks at me and goes like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, just leave me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna explain it to you. I'm being crazy on myself, but I'm
I'm
trying to
just
learn new
living.
stuff
Yeah.
by observing. Like, what's his motivation of this little bug to be there? I may as well be holding a little ladybug and watching it there, like put my finger like that, and go crawling up and crawling up.
Well, yeah, that's especially here, I've caught myself doing that as well, because when I work out or something, they just sometimes fly on
Yeah.
me. And I just stop mid pose and I'm like, it's that's the beautiful part about nature as well. It's like if you see a butterfly flying by, like appreciate that. You know, just stop your day for a bit and just watch it. Like there's no hurry. It's not like, oh no, I can't spend those 10 seconds looking at
Of
something,
course.
you know? Um but I wanna highlight one last thing maybe, because looking at the time, we've already talked a bit and we talked about a lot of interesting things. But I really liked the thing that you said about the wood in particular, being able to preserve the trees, because one of the arguments that always has been made with these advancements, like you also said, a lot of people see it as profanity. So it's kind of why are these humans trying to play God is kind of
Argument.
the argument sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's like we should just leave nature alone. But in what you are saying, it's basically that's exactly
The
what we're
opposite.
doing. Like uh, if we can even, and I don't know enough science to know if it is possible at all, but if we can produce meat in labs and it is as healthy as, then we are protecting the animals. So
Yeah.
like you said with the trees, like
And
we can get to those landmarks, and if we can do these things through science, then it is helping exactly that argument.
and I'll jump on that one. We can create meat. We can basically create any organic structure, I think, in labs. Of course, I'm not professional. I just know a little bit. Uh, of what's going on. But yeah, we can create a lot, a lot of organic structures in lab, because they are basically just mimicking how the molecule change goes, and it comes out with the object. In this case, could be meat. In this other case, can be advanced wood, advanced metals. That's how millions of elements of materials that we have today has been created. Like a lot of materials that we use in construction, they've been made. They are not a simple process of taking out the cal from the floor and making it mixing it into cement. It's actually take materials, take them into labs, modify them so they came out with a completely different chain structure, and you have a new material to build with. But of course, this calso meat created in a lab is not going to have the flavor beef is going to have, because that also depends on what the animal was feeding on. So it's never going to be the element that we are trying to create. Is always going to be something completely new, completely different. Like this wood, we can call it wood because it's made based on the structure of wood, but it wouldn't actually be wood.
Right.
It wouldn't be a tree.
And I guess that's where philosophy comes in again.
Like we are trying to stop using the resources from Earth because we already cause a huge impact. Like alternative fuel. All people think, and I'm sorry for people that likes electric cars, but there is a lot of people that still thinks that electric cars are reducing emissions and making everything better.
Yeah, it's not true.
It's just marketing. That's solely marketing. The production of a battery involves tons and tons and tons of coal and petrol. So just by that starting point, it's not that eco-friendly. And then you have all the mining for the minerals to create the batteries, which is curiously in the north of Chile. Yeah, still a lot of destruction. Where Porsche has a plant in the south of Chile, has a plant that's producing this new type of fuel, which is gasoline. So it's safe to put in an internal combustion engine. It's made without extracting carbon, buried carbon, like without extracting petrol, which is the main cause for the CO2 in the atmosphere, the one that was breaking the ozone layer. So the reason we made so much damage is because we are taking out various components and taking them into the atmosphere. But if we stop taking out from underneath and we start using the ones that is present around us, we can take that and make it back into fuel. We use that and we are just recirculating what is already in here. And there is not going to be new added material. And that is, of course, expensive because it's a very niche market. I think they're using for racing and for top-end cars. But imagine if that gets more massified and start being used in all cars, that would stop a huge percentage of fossil fuels being burned into atmosphere. Because this is going to be fuel, but it's not going to be fossil fuel.
Yeah, that's. I'm just gonna use this to wrap the whole topic up. But all these things that you told us, like, they are perfect examples of why we need to really appreciate science again. And without making this about politics at all, because I don't, I really don't like politics at all anyway. So
not happy about them.
So yeah, everyone should just really encourage science rather than like saying science is at fault for everything.
Of course.
And if we can invest in things like that and try to make them more efficient, try to make them accessible for the masses, then like all these things you said don't sound like horrible things to me.
No, not at all. Of course, science has good and bad sides. Like it's a tool. Again, everything we create as a concept is gonna be a tool. We may as well use it for good, but it can also be used for bad things like more war, more massive killings, more bombs. It's all part of science, all part of our nature.
Right.
And that means we are the ones that need to change that way of thinking. Try to leave politics siding behind us and basically try to work together as society. Stop pretending that we are different because we have a wall in between us. And actually trying to do something useful for the future of ourselves.
There's nothing I can add to that. I will leave the last words to you. And with that, I want to say thank you. Thank you, Ben, for sitting down. I had a great time. It was a really good conversation. I
It's
liked
lovely. I love it.
all the
Thank you much.
topics we talked about. And yeah, I appreciate having you here.
Appreciate being here. It was actually really nice. And
Thank you.
yeah,
I'm glad you enjoyed it as well.
yeah, definitely.
So let's enjoy the rest of our day. Maybe we're going to play some football. I don't know yet.
Today? Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Maybe. So yeah, with that, goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.